Cybersecurity is going insane at the moment. The threats to businesses is anything between $1 and $2 trillion a year in terms of lost productivity, fines, and malware, ransomware that's out there. Today, I have Simon Clark, who's the founder of FortNet UK Limited. Simon, first of all, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, Elias. Pleasure to be here.
Simon, we've covered a lot of interesting cyber threats in our video series so far. Today, I'd like to look at something called third-party risk. This is one of the risks that's covered by the category of patching. What is third-party risk?
Well, third-party risk is the products that you're using to run your business. So, for example, Elias, you'll have Microsoft somewhere on your computer. We're running Zoom today. Those products eventually end up with vulnerabilities in them. And this is what hackers are trying to find, is that those vulnerabilities, which they can then take advantage of to compromise you, me, and organizations. And that's why these companies are releasing patches. Annoying as they are, it's important to patch those to make sure that they've sealed up those little vulnerabilities.
Okay, I can understand that. I know, as you said, I operate a laptop using Microsoft's Windows operating system. I have regular updates that are sent out by Microsoft and get regular updates on my system. Surely that's enough, isn't it?
Well, let me ask you, how many apps are you running on your laptop?
Oh, crikey, tons. I can't even, yeah, okay, now you got my interest. Tell me more.
Well, all of those probably want some form of access to the internet. And if they suffer some kind of vulnerability, then you're vulnerable as well. And okay. the most famous kind of examples of this that were in the press was SolarWinds. SolarWinds, I think earlier this year, late last year. SolarWinds had 33,000 customers. And 18,000 of them got compromised. And the clever thing about the criminals in this instance was the criminals broke into SolarWinds and they added code to SolarWinds code. So when SolarWinds sent out the patch to you and all their 18,000 customers, they infected their own customers. And this wasn't just individuals like you and me. This was governments and utilities, companies like Cisco and FireEye, and even Microsoft. Huge companies got infected by this kind of attack. Wow.
So you know, we talk about apps in our on our laptops, you know, presumably on our phones as well. What about, you know, is it just limited to the apps, to the software that you're running on a computer, or does it go even further than that?
Well, if we talk about patching per se, then it's important to patch everything that you've got, and that includes your hardware, so your switches, your routers, your servers, everything that you've got has some kind of software involvement, which eventually hackers seem to find some kind of entry point. So it's important to be patching those as quickly and efficiently as possible.
Now you're starting to scare me, because I've got a router that was given to me by my ISP here in New Zealand probably 2 or 3 years ago. I'm not sure when I installed it. Have I ever updated it? I don't think I know how to do that. Am I really at risk?
Well, in that case, one would hope that your supplier is providing automatic updates to that broadband router. So you should be able to just sit there and confidently know that it's being patched by the provider of that particular device. From your point of view, you still want to make sure you've got firewalls and other security tools switched on in that router if you have that option, but they'll be patching that on your behalf.
Well, if I look from a New Zealand perspective, I know this is not a reflection of the whole world, but New Zealand has a lot of what we call small, medium-sized businesses. I think 97% of businesses have 20 or fewer employees. It's a phenomenal number of businesses. If you're looking at this as a small business, surely that the headache for the owner is I don't have the skill sets or the funds to go around and checking everything on a. It looks like this is an ongoing, full-time job.
Yeah, so there are tools around that will give you visibility, and that's the first thing you want to look at is running a network assessment. That will give you the visibility of everything that's within your infrastructure, and it'll give you visibility of all the applications, and it'll give you visibility of which ones need to be patched. And once you know that, you can prioritize, and then you can either get someone to bring someone in to do that on your behalf, or you can do it yourselves. It depends just at what level your expertise is at.
So you're saying that we can potentially buy some software or access some software that we implement locally and then get somebody else who knows what they're doing to go and fix it?
Yes, so there's two approaches I'm talking about here. One is you can buy things called vulnerability scanners, which is software, and you run that across your infrastructure and it comes back and tells you what's vulnerable in your infrastructure. The other way to do it is to run a network assessment, which gives you very granular information as to what you've got, and then you can make your own decisions, or you run both. Either way, if you don't have the skills internally, you can outsource that kind of activity, 100% of it if you want, and the companies will come in and patch everything and make sure everything's neat and tidy.
Look, I'm sure there's lots of vendors out there you can outsource this to, but how would an ordinary businessman know which is a good place to go to versus the other?
That's a good point. Well, they could ring us and we'd help them. We can either advise as to the best software to buy, which would help you do it, or we can outsource it on your behalf.
Oh, excellent. So if people want to get hold of you, how can they find you?
We've got a website, www.fortnet.co.uk. On that is a contact page with our email address, telephone number, and even a calendar link, so you can choose a time that suits you for a complimentary discussion, and we'll help you understand what challenges you might have and how you could fix them.
Well, thank you for that, Simon. As I said at the beginning of this short video, we are talking about a $1 to $2 trillion issue. And if there are organizations like this that can help you, then I'm going to encourage people to get in touch with you and figure out at least, what are your options, and you can take it from there. Simon, if it's possible, can we catch up again and talk about some of the other topics later on?
I'd love to, Elias. That'd be great. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you.